I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo,
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more. Hello, my name is Irene Sofia Lucio, and welcome to the Theater Podcast with Alan Seals.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Theater Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Seals, and our guest, Irene Sofia Lucio, is currently starring in Liberation on Broadway. And just a fair warning before we kick into this, we talk about, I guess, adult themes. There's nudity on stage in the show, and we, of course, talk about that. That's no surprise by this point. But drop a few more F-bombs than normal and talk about being an awesome mom. Warning, adult content. We talk about being parents. But you know how sometimes the public perception of an actor is totally different from who they actually are? Well, we get into that immediately, and she talks about growing up as a shy kid who actually had to force herself to raise her hand just to get a part in the school play. But then you look at her current role in Liberation, and obviously we talk about bridging that gap between anxiety and total fearlessness. We have a really honest conversation about being a mother in the industry. She shares how working with a creative team led by mothers changed the entire rehearsal process because moms just get more done. And we discuss the unique experience of performing the nude scene while her dad is in the audience, which is a whole other level of bravery. This is such a grounded and funny look at balancing the chaos of professional working life with home life and just the intensity of a Broadway run. And I hope you enjoy hearing from Irene as much as I did. Make sure to follow me on social media, head over to Patreon or watch this on Spotify for the video version. And now everybody, please enjoy this episode with Irene Sofia Lucio.
Here you go. 1, 2, 3.
Today we're joined by an actor whose work spans Broadway, and previously on Slave Play and Wit. She's been on the West End, endless regional stages, film, and television. She graduated from Princeton, holds an MFA from the Yale School of Drama, and is the co-creator of the Butts web series. That's B-U-T-S, you dirty people, which earned recognition from NBC Uni's Short Film Festival and also got an Imagen Award nomination. So aside from performing, she also has one of the hardest jobs in the world, being a mom to a beautiful toddler. And she is now appearing as Isadora on Broadway in Liberation. Irene Sofia Lucio, welcome to the Theater Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled.
Was that okay? Was it okay introduction?
That was fantastic.
Okay. So sometimes it can be a little wrong. So
You did great.
Okay. So we were talking about being a mom before we started recording, though, and I had to bring it. I already hit my mic. I already had that in the intro.
Oh yeah.
Before we ever started talking about it.
It's hard to not come in with the mom part of your life when you have a toddler.
It's all consuming.
Yeah.
And you're doing 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
On top of everything else.
Yeah.
But
it's kicking my ass.
It's kicking your ass. You're low on sleep.
I said it was Saturday night yesterday, which was Wednesday afternoon.
So Wednesday afternoon, you said it was Saturday night.
Correct.
Yeah. My kids are 9 and almost 11. I'm still kind of like, what? Because it's context switching between, I don't know. You either are all in home life,
yeah,
or you're all in work life.
Yeah. We have all consuming, areas that demand our full selves. So it's very hard to think about the other sides of yourself when you're in any given room. So I feel like when I'm a mom, it's very hard to think about Isadora and Broadway. And when I'm on Broadway, it's very hard to be like, what is Hugo doing? It's in my brain, but it's very hard you can't physically go home.
Right. Does he get into FaceTime? Do you FaceTime him a lot with your husband?
I do. And sometimes it's great and sometimes it's devastating because he has separation anxiety. It'll just make him cry. And then you feel like you made everything worse. By calling. Sometimes you debate whether you should call or not based on how they're doing emotionally. It's a whole thing. And now that he's a toddler, he's bringing all these sicknesses and viruses home. It's really fun negotiating that with with the Broadway. It's really fun.
I just had my my almost 11-year-old get the flu shot this morning, so
Yeah.
covered my household at least a quarter of the way.
There you go. There you
Four of
go.
us. But no, I thought something was very cool. I saw on your Instagram that you got the call to go to West End right when Hugo was like right after he was born, right? Like a couple months.
It was okay. So the call of it potentially going to the West End and bringing us.
This was a slave play, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was doing a workshop of a play. It was a workshop so I could do it pregnant. But I was like 7 months pregnant or 6 months pregnant. And I remember going, oh crap, if this goes, Hugo's going to be 4 months old. And I called my husband right away and I called my mom because I knew I was going to need them both desperately. And they were both like, we're going to figure it out, but let's do this. And that's when I was like, oh my God, we're going to go. So I knew before giving birth that I was very likely going to go to London with a very little kid.
Wow.
And it became like a project to get all of the things in place in London to accommodate all of the people that were going to go there in order for me to do that job. But it was so cool too. It was so cool.
Your mom came over, right?
My mom came over for 3 weeks. And honestly, it was super special. I thought, you think before having a kid, you think being with your mom all the time is going to be terrible. It's going to drive you nuts. You're going to kill each other. When you have a kid, it makes you cry how much you want your mom to help you. It makes you want to cry how much like they've done for you and how much they are anticipating your needs because they've been through that before. And I mean, there's times that they don't remember because it's been a million years since they had you. But in a lot of ways, they're anticipating your needs in a way that honestly men don't. So there was a minute when she was there for the 3 weeks that I was like, wait, my husband's coming. I don't know if this is better. But anyway, it was super special because we got to be in London together. My mom was sort of cosplaying this like lady that lives in Europe for 3 weeks. And
I'm sure she's having the time of her life.
She was loving it. And one of the things that we had to do before flying over there was I found some childcare support that would come in like 4 hours a day. And because I had done the show so many times before, my rehearsals were really short. Robert would just let me go in, do act 2, and then leave. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic job for a new mom. So the first 3 weeks were like full time with my mom and then this like nanny who would come in every day for 4 hours. And then my husband came in and he had delayed his paternity leave so that he could take it upon arriving to London, which was very, very, very helpful.
Getting a nanny in London, I just assume you got Mary Poppins.
Oh my God. It was sort of. No. But but let's say it's the Venezuelan/Colombian version of Mary Poppins if she was almost 80 years old.
Oh, God.
And incredibly opinionated about how you need to raise your child. But I was also so clueless that anything she told me to do, I would just do. She was correct.
There's a comedy in there somewhere of an 80-year-old woman trying to fly on an umbrella.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes. There you go. You got to write that.
That's fantastic.
An 80-year-old Venezuelan woman trying to.
Yes. She was fantastic. She was fantastic. I miss her.
Do you still keep in touch?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah. She came to New York one day and I brought Hugo over and yeah, it was lovely. She brought him a gift. It's great.
Oh,
she was great.
I love that. Okay, so then you mentioned your mom. Is she still in Puerto Rico? That's where you're from.
She is. I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico. She lives in Puerto Rico. My mom is Cuban. And actually she reminds me a lot of the character that I'm playing right now. But yeah, she's great. Puerto Rico is very close to New York, so it's pretty easy to go a couple times a year.
Well, what got you into performing the arts in general?
I have an older sister that would make a lot of plays with us at home, and I was the shy kid out of like all of my cousins and siblings, and I remember feeling like the lame one every time that she was like directing a play, and we were sort of like, I was just sort of there. And I would get like one line, and then I would say it, and then I'd be like, "Damn, that was terrible." So I remember being like, "That's something I need to fix about myself." For some reason, I was like, it was like a personal challenge for some reason that I was like, I need to be less afraid when I'm in front of people. And then I think I did ballet for many years, but then I noticed that like in elementary school, I would get really frustrated that I wasn't like being chosen to be in any plays.
So you wanted to be in the front.
I wanted to, but I didn't know how. And I remember my mom being like, you know that nobody's going to know that you want to be in a play if you don't raise your hand, right? You know that the teacher isn't like telepathic and is going to go, you know what I think.
Was that like a kind of mind-blown moment?
Yeah. And honestly, to this day, I need to remind myself of that moment because there's times that I'm like, why isn't this happening? And I'll be like, have you raised your hand? Have you put your hat in the ring? Like how much have you advocated for yourself in this thing that you want? Like, so it was a very good lesson. I raised my hand one day. The teacher gave me a part probably out of pity. And I worked super hard at it and then apparently did well because the following year she put me in a musical. And then the year after that, she was like, I want to do Annie as the school musical. Will you be Annie? And then I played Annie like 2 years after I raised my hand.
Wow.
And then I played Peter Pan the year after. So I became this like child musical theater kid at like age 11. And then I couldn't stop. doing it. I loved it so much.
Were you still that shy kid though?
Yes,
like,
I think
did you
I
get
still
stage
am.
fright? And really?
I think I still am. I think I've just developed so many coping mechanisms now that that she takes more of a backseat. But I think that there's a ton of fear that I have to like reckon with on a regular basis. I see how much I have to negotiate with myself to go on stage, and I see some people could just go on, and I'm like, yeah, you're fighting some demons that people don't have.
But I think kind of everybody has a lot of this though, don't they?
I think so, yeah. And I think a lot of people that I admire have said that they're reckoning with these kinds of things. Like I remember hearing that Judi Dench would like throw up before going on stage. Yeah.
Like
from fear.
Yeah, watch your toes. I'm about to name drop. I talked to Bill Hader once, and he said that he would have full-on panic attacks before every live SNL.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's like my favorite.
Right,
too.
and nervous as all hell, full-on panic attacks every week.
That's so much.
And like through the grapevine, I know some other SNL people. Like, yeah, there's that pressure of maintaining the image of being the best. Because inside your own head,
yeah, it's not the same.
You're still that kid who's like, maybe not good enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, how do you cope then?
You mean with like imposter syndrome?
Yes.
Is that like
yes.
I think the more you do it, the more you get to act, the more like you put in like the 10,000 hours, the more you're like practicing, the more you just get used to that voice being one of many other voices that are like
a lot of voices up there.
There's just a lot of voices up there. They just don't have to drive the van.
Hmm.
You can just be like, okay, I hear you, you're there. But you have also you develop other coping mechanisms, like you how to talk to yourself. I do a lot of like meditation. And also you recognize that you have tools to do your job. So there's just other points of focus that you can focus on, like the other person and listening to the other person and breathing and like feeling your feet, that you're like, okay, well, we'll make those more important in this instance, even though my brain is telling me I'm a piece of shit. That's okay.
Well, you're not a piece of shit.
No, thank you. And I know that, but my brain will say that sometimes, and you can be like, okay, well, sure. Agree to disagree.
What I go through is, I think I'm not a piece of shit, but I wonder if they think I'm a piece of shit.
Ha. Yeah.
That's
hello, old friend. Yeah. Sure. But then there's other, like, I don't know. I have like a rebellion with myself and with this stuff because sometimes I'll be like, oh, what if they think I'm a piece of shit? I don't care. Fuck them. Fuck them all. Fuck everything. Fuck it all. Let's just go. So it's this weird. Honestly, that rebellion can be quite helpful sometimes to be like, well, fuck you.
I kind of that's where I found myself was going the extreme in the other way of like I just can't care.
It's too much.
It's too much.
There's stuff to do.
Yeah, now you got a kid.
Yeah, there's too much stuff to do.
And there's only so much capacity up here in this cranium.
Yesterday, a cast member came up to me. I was asking me, just like interpersonal stuff about like a moment in the play and what that might mean backstage. And like, I just remember she looked at my face and she goes, "Oh, you don't care." And I was like, I don't. I looked at her straight and I was like, I don't. And she's like, "You're fully just like a mom and a wife and also here, but you don't care." And I was like, I don't. But here's the good news. I don't care. So like, it's also not going to, this moment is not going to matter in a bad way at all, because it's just not, I'm not going to put weight into this.
But is it you not caring, or is Adora not caring?
No, it's that I don't have the mental capacity to care about stuff that can't, that isn't useful, or
Sure.
There's just a lot of noise sometimes that you're like, well, that's noise. I don't care about that.
Yeah. There's
We have
so
to
much
do
noise.
this scene, and then we do have to do this other scene, and then I have to go home to a kid who has flu, and then I have to figure out a way to sleep.
Do you have trouble falling asleep like after a show?
Yeah.
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 Like
It's really fun.
really?
No, it's terrible.
No, I mean I know it's not really fun, but what do you do?
To sleep?
Yeah.
I pray. I don't
Edibles?
know. No, I wish. Honestly, I wish. I can't do. So I'm having a moment now in my life where, to this point, like my energy is finite. So I have to be very precious about where I'm putting my energy. So I think that's like to the point of like conversations that I'm like, well, I'm just not gonna get into all of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the energy to get into that can of worms. I'm gonna go be over here. So there's a lot of that's happening right now, and it's happening to me with like alcohol or any kind of gummies or anything. I'm like, I can't, anything that is gonna make me groggier or more tired in any way tomorrow.
Fair.
I can't do right now because I'm running on fumes and I'm like doing my best. You know?
But I feel like that plays well for your character.
Oh, 100%. Thank God for her.
Right?
Yes.
I feel like she's tons of catharsis.
100%. 100%. And I get to like, I'm really fortunate and grateful that I get to play an Italian person, because I'm Latina and I never get to play Latinas because I look so white that as an Italian, I get to sort of be Latina with a different accent. But like, it's all of that, like fire, all of that stuff for my family and stuff gets to just come out, and I get to be the mess that I am. So if I'm tired, it's fine.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break. All right, everyone. Now we're back. I know. I feel like when I saw the show, you came in and you're just like, don't care to throw it all around. I'm just gonna sit down, sprawl down, and here I am.
Yeah.
Like it worked so fucking well.
Thank you.
And it's brilliant. But yeah, so okay, diving into Liberation.
Yeah.
Then one of the best shows I've seen. Full stop.
Yes. Thank you.
Like just amazing.
That makes me happy.
And like working with Bess, the playwright. This is a true story. Put on by Bess, told by Susanna Flood as the narrator, who is, I guess, playing Bess.
Yeah, brilliantly.
Oh, so brilliantly. And what did Bess bring to the rehearsal space when she was working with all of you and like to make this real?
Wow. Well, the play is based on her mother, who is alive. So in that regard, it's not fully autobiographical.
Okay.
But but a lot of it is based on fact.
What if she called up her mom once? She's like, "I'm going to kill you in my play."
Yes, I think she did have to do that. Actually, she did. Yeah, I think she did have to tell her. Yeah, of course. But okay, what did she bring? She brought stories of her mother, because her mother was in a CR group, and a lot of the women that are in the play were either in the CR group that with her mom, or voices of that CR group that were being like looked at and drawn upon.
Mm-hmm.
So she was giving us like the real stories behind these women, which is great because it gives you all of these anchors. And I think we had like dramaturgy to draw from. Like we had Ms. articles, and we had this incredible book called The Movement, about all of these voices happening in the 1970s. And so she was bringing in a lot of that, like the actual material that she was looking at in order to write this piece. And I think she just also brought herself in that, like, she's reckoning with all of these questions in the way that we're all reckoning with these questions, especially the moms. I think, motherhood feels like it's in the crux of this, of like, how can you be a person? What does liberation mean when you also have like a little kid that is depending on you and whose life depends on you, I loved that Bess is a mom of 3 and that Whitney is a mom of a toddler, and that they were the ones at the helm. It was always like
Whitney White. Yeah.
Yeah, Whitney White. We
Yeah.
could always bring our lives into that space in a play that is in direct conversation with those themes.
Was it different being part of a primarily female creative team,
Yes.
like versus your other projects like this?
Hell yeah. So first of all, like, moms just get more done. It's just true.
Amen.
Like there's just more happening in the day. So already we would do straight 6s. Like that was always going to be the case. We were always going to like get to work straight through, do a short lunch, or as short as possible, and get home to our kids. Like, and that already honestly is like so appreciated. And I think something I really like about like lady leadership is that
lady leadership
is more available to going, I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
Like
instead of pretending that you know when you don't know something.
Is that something that that you feel like you're forced to do around like a male director, a male creative team?
I just noticed that I hear a lot less the phrase I don't know or I don't know yet in other rooms. And when we're working on a new piece, there's a lot of stuff we don't know and that we're still figuring out together. And just like being in that kind of collaborative space of we don't know yet, this might change. I love hearing I don't know. Honestly, it makes me feel safe. It doesn't make me feel not safe. It makes me feel incredibly unsafe when somebody gives me an answer and I'm like, none of that rings true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It rings true when you don't know, and I don't know either, and we're going to figure this out.
I think, so much of what liberation is just flat vulnerability, and we'll get into the physical side of the vulnerability as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're in this creative space, especially when you're putting something together, originating something, you've got to allow yourself to go to beyond where it ends up, because then you know where the boundaries need to be.
Yes.
And so you've got to be able to go super vulnerable and say like, oh, that's too much. Let's pull it back a little bit, right?
Back.
Yeah.
And it's better to give too much than to give too
little.
Right.
But then, like, being in that space where you can say, I don't know, or let's figure this out together.
Yeah. And it makes you feel like you're a collaborator, an active participant in the storytelling, and that's everything, I think, with a new play. And it makes you, like, take ownership over your character in this, like, really empowering way. And, yeah, I loved being part of that room. I feel very lucky.
That was very cool. It was very cool. And, like, so then when you were saying earlier, I knew I was going to come back to this, was you were like, I'm the shy kid, like anxiety. But then when you look on social media, when you look on what you are as a public figure.
Yeah, that's not authentic, is it?
There's not a match.
There's a disconnect, isn't there?
And your link, the only link in your Instagram profile now is a link straight to the picture of you wearing your own bust to opening night.
Yeah. I think I'm full of shit.
Number 1, why the disconnect? Number 2, where did you get that idea for opening night?
Okay. I'm going to start with the I don't fully know. Yet. One day I will.
One day you'll figure it out.
Okay. So, several thoughts about that. Liberation has a nude scene at the top of Act 2 that is no longer a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an intimacy coordinator for it and everything, but my character has a very different relationship to her nudity than I do. She adores being naked, adores her boobs, and it in the process of like creating Isadora and being in that scene, I sort of started developing this relationship to my body where in Act 2, I have a flesh suit. That is not it's my body, but it's not. It's Isadora's body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she's talking about her breasts even though I'm like actually drawing upon my own body, my relationship to my breasts is not Isadora's relationship to her breasts.
Interesting.
So I wear a merkin, a pubic wig.
Yeah.
So like already there's like several things that like that I'm like bridging to this other. It's another person that's having this conversation right now. There's always a part of you that knows that that you're naked on stage for sure. But then the play takes over and you have to serve that play, that character.
Sure.
The other thing is about that, specifically about the breasts, is that I have a very different relationship to my body since having a kid. And nursing a kid when I thought I never could was like incredibly empowering to me. And I just when we were doing this play and when we knew we were going to take it to Broadway and opening night and all of that, I remember thinking a lot about this artist who I know and I'm friends with, who her name is Misha Japanwala, and she likes making pieces and busts of the body as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And celebrating it as it is, which is, I think, in direct conversation to that scene where people are constantly, like, they're just talking about their bodies as it is, using their own gaze to judge what they like and what they don't like about their body, and talking about the body as flesh, not as like, this person told me that it looks good, or I love it's about what I think about my body in this very unsexualized way. And Misha talks about the body like that a lot, especially pieces of the body that one might be like ashamed about, and makes that the centerpiece, the art itself. And I saw Lupita wear a bust of of her chest for like the Tonys, and I was like, damn it, she looks fierce. And when we, we're going to do Broadway, I was like, actually, this is a great collaboration in this conversation with this artist. Let me see if she's interested, and she was.
So you actually got her to do this?
So I got her to do this. I went to her studio. She made a bust of like my actual bust. And then I get to keep this like memento and put it up on my wall of like Isidora's boobs, nursing boobs, and this moment in time of liberation. So it's like the ultimate, for me, it's like the ultimate little like memento of this moment in time.
Yeah.
And then I had to wear it. But when you wear it, I'm not gonna lie, because it's like armor. It's heavy. It's like metal.
Yeah.
Because it's armor, you feel more like a superhero than you do as if you had been like painted on. If it had just been my titties out in the wind in the air, I would have been a little bit more like. But instead, you're feeling like you're crazy. It's like you're Wonder Woman or something, and it's gold. You're wearing like a.
I mean, everything I've seen, you were owning it. You're just like.
But that is also part of the you have to, right? Like to you have to rise to the occasion in order to wear that, because it would be pretty sad if I was trying to be demure. It just doesn't work. That doesn't match. Right. It doesn't match.
Well, it matches your character. It matches the show. Like it's like we were saying, the vulnerability that you as a person, as an actor, bring to it, but then the way that the message that the show conveys to the audience, like it makes me go back and question everything about why certain things are thought about in certain ways, like all over the place.
Why is it so, scary to see bodies as they are?
No, not even
in
that.
A conversation.
I don't want to sound like I'm talking solely about nudity the whole episode. No, but I mean like just about like the women's lib, and then I love how the show addresses being a woman of color also.
Yes.
A person of color and a woman also during this time.
100%.
Right? Like,
and the intersectionality of all of this stuff.
And then being a Latinx person as well. So there's like everyone's kind of different. And an immigrant.
In this moment in time, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
have you had audience members that have just been like, for one reason or another of any sort, it's been like, holy shit, this is like either life-changing, good or bad, or just like shocked? Gasped at the top of Act 2, maybe?
Yes, lots of gasping.
Yeah.
Once there was a guy that yelled, titties.
I hope Susanna acknowledged that, did she?
I think she did. Knowing her, she probably looked out.
Yep.
Sardonically and then decided to come back. But a lot of gasps for sure. But I think I've also heard a lot of people say it's made me wonder what I think about my own body, and made me, wonder what do I like and what do I not like.
Huh.
And that to me is so fantastic. And I kind of wish, that if I had seen a play like this when I was a teenager and thought I was a freak, I would have felt better, I think. Because when you're a teenager and especially if you're a girl, like you're seeing all of these images that are photoshopped and you're just thinking, well, I don't
Right.
look like that. What's wrong with me? And if I had just seen live bodies on stage that all look different, I would have been like, well, I think everybody looks different.
Live different and all sorts of ages
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like there's one of the cast members, I mean, of a certain age,
Yeah.
like she's out there along with everybody else.
I know.
think
How
it
fierce is that?
is so empowering.
Yeah.
So empowering and just incredible to watch. And I know it's like you're playing, the characters are playing uncomfortable, but for all of you to be on stage and just being like, yeah, this is me, especially Isadora. Isadora's just like, here we go, right? Like it's gotta feel so empowering. And I've heard about, like, I've got friends in the alternative lifestyle space, we shall say, that they've been in serious thruples and like just kind of question things a little bit differently. And really, I can't believe I'm telling this story. There was one time with this group of friends, this was years ago, it was like 15 years ago or something. I went to a birthday party for one of the three in the throuple. And for whatever reason, it was this hot in this studio in Williamsburg. And everyone was like, God, it's hot. Let's just take our tops off. And
my God.
And it was just like you and I are talking right now.
Yeah,
like
just chilling.
I was, some woman sat down next to me, topless, and was like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And I was like, hi, I'm Ellen. She's like, I gotta say, for like being new to this crowd, you're pretty chill about it. And I'm like, well, when it's not like sexualized,
Yeah.
it's just a body and everyone's comfortable.
It's weird, right? When you take out that part, right?
Yeah.
When it becomes it's a body.
Yeah.
Which we all have. And yet we're constantly going, I'm like, what? We gotta get a little bit more European in that regard, I think.
Oh,
and
I
just
think so
make it
too.
more normal.
I think so too. And normalize especially women's bodies that aren't in their 20s, and especially mothers' bodies.
Yes.
Because I think mothers' bodies are some of the most beautiful changes.
Yes, it's incredible. And I thought, I remember hearing all of this, narrative about how much people hated their postpartum bodies. And I was dreading that.
But like you created a life.
And then after, but that's what was surprising to me, is that I did not feel those things because I was in such awe of what I had done that I was like, this isn't, my body's I think I liked my body more since having a kid than before. And that's like often not a narrative that I had, that I've heard before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's more because I'm like, look at all this stuff that we can do. This is ridiculous. These are all of these things have functions and like, do you know, it's not just aesthetics.
These are made to do things.
These are made to do things, and my body's healing on its own, and like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then it finds its way. You find your way back to yourself. I think it's incredible. It's not easy, but I think it's incredible.
That's weird. Was it hard to like ease into that scene during rehearsal and whatnot? Because
I think for different people, it was different. Like everything, everybody has a different relationship to their body. We had an intimacy coordinator, Kelsey Rainwater, and she gave us like ground rules as a cast. Like we couldn't comment on each other's bodies, and we were doing like gradual disrobing throughout the process.
Interesting.
And then she would talk individually to us, I think, so that we could create little, I don't know, like she gave us some guardrails to find security in that vulnerability. And I think by the time that it was we were going to disrobe fully, it was very close to being in the theater. And it was like, well, it's time. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's just get, because there had been so much buildup. And what also happens is that because you are vulnerable, you then create this force field of focus with the other actors, letting them know they're safe.
Yeah.
You're like, they're here, but I'm here, and I am locking in with you.
I got you.
And I got you. So then that force field, honestly, of eye contact is incredibly powerful in being like, you're safe, and so I'm safe. So we're safe. Let's fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been really cool.
That is really neat. Till some dude says, titties.
I know, it's so stupid. It's so
But
stupid.
yeah,
But funny.
It is funny. It is. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break. All right, everyone. Now we're back. The European lifestyle is much more comfortable. Like in some countries in Europe, you see full nudity on just regular commercials. And because it's normalized, the kids grow up seeing it, and it's not anything other than just like, yeah, that's a body. That's just another body.
In Spain, like, a lot of the ladies are just topless, hanging out with their kids and their dad, and like it's just crazy.
And then here in this country, we still get mad over people breastfeeding in public.
I know, so sad.
Like literally, that's an actual function.
Talk about a function that is not sexualized, and somehow they try to, you're just feeding a kid.
But maybe it's our boomer generation who can't deal with their inner child, and they're still like, they want to fix their own inner child.
Oh my God.
I don't know. We can psychologicalize them.
Yeah, we can psychologicalize
them. No, my parents are terrible with emotion. Anyway.
My dad doesn't love that scene. I think
I mean,
he's proud. I think he loves bringing people to the play. I think he loves the play. And I think consistently he is like girding his loins and bracing during the nudity scene. I think it's hard for him.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see why that would be hard. I guess, like, as not an actor, he's not an actor, I assume.
No.
Like, because, like you said,
your daughter, I know, like, that can be weird, and I'm sure that there's some dads that didn't think, that have a different relationship, but I can understand, I guess, is my point around that.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, he doesn't get the idea of wearing a flesh suit, like,
no,
which sounds like you killed someone and you're wearing their skin.
Explain it, and he could understand it, but I think it's still, no matter what, it's like, there's very real cultural differences between our generations and stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, but so like, what's something that you have taken home from the whole liberation, the movement, doing the play, this whole experience? Like, you taken home, you said you love your body more as a mother now, but like,
from the play, I think I've like come to, I think I've always really admired my mom, but it's made me appreciate her generation a lot more, and the things that they have afforded us, like in very real terms. Like, I was like, my mom paved her own path, but she didn't know what it looked like. She knew what she didn't like, and then she had to like burn some of those things down without knowing what to put in lieu of it. That must have been so scary, and she must have felt so isolated in the process of like carving out a life that worked for her.
Like going back to saying, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's like terribly scary when society isn't affirming, you not wanting certain things that they've been, telling you that you should want. So I have like a lot more gratitude, I think, like for that generation, in terms of how that's afforded me liberties that I constantly take for granted. That generation raised the men of my generation, and I'm very grateful for that as well, because I noticed that like I take for granted a lot of like equal division of domestic tasks, and that's because my husband was raised by a feminist. It's thanks to that. And I think the other thing that I'm taking away from it, honestly, is that we are too isolated right now as a society, and that is creating like political danger. And the only way through is for us to get together in groups again. Like we don't have to necessarily bring back consciousness raising, the way it was, but this idea of getting back together in groups and creating community and hearing what other people's lives are, and understanding that there are systems at play creating these things, and affirming each other's lives and wanting to fight for each other's, liberties is we need to do that again. So I don't know exactly what that'll look like for me, but I know that I'm too isolated at the present moment.
And it's a safety mechanism, though.
Yes. And I think the pandemic made it worse.
Oh, absolutely. Because it taught us that we can do so many things without leaving our house.
Yes.
Which is good and bad.
Yes.
Very double-edged sword.
I love being alone, but it's too comfortable. Yeah. And I think like this like price of like, I don't want to be irritated. The cost of that is actually more scary.
That's why, I mean, part of why I push to do these interviews for the podcast physically in the studio now, just because we have the studio available. But like doing it all over COVID and the last couple of years, like everybody was just so arguably and understandably scared of getting something.
Yes.
Being able to literally look in people's eyes, like we are staring in each other's faces.
Yeah, it changes how you talk to
in
somebody.
the same room.
Yeah. And you sense things about like the conversation can now organically go somewhere else, which you might not have sensed through a screen. Yeah.
And a play, I mean, like stop being isolated, get out and hear other people's stories. One of the best ways to do that. I mean, this sounds so cliche, but like art, seeing plays, seeing musicals, going out and seeing theater, because we are a society, we are a species that evolved on storytelling. Because we learned from our past ancestors of don't eat that berry, that'll kill you, or Ugga just got killed by that tiger over there. Tiger be bad.
Yeah, that does make me feel better that like what we're doing is community building in its own way. I kind of want like a space after the play that we all get to talk to each other or something, you know?
Well, let's do some liberation podcasts.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, but you've done a lot of that. Like slave play was even kind of the same thing. I walked away.
I'm crazy lucky that I've gotten to do 2 plays that involve foldable chairs and people talking about like incredibly timely issues,
right?
That are in the zeitgeist and are like needed.
Which, you know, they're talking about things from the past, but are still so absolutely relevant right now.
Totally. And when we were doing slave play, we did one pre-pandemic. And then during the pandemic, George Floyd happened. And then we did it again after the pandemic, which was, and the temperature of the audiences had completely changed because of the Black Lives Matter movement. So it's just doing something and hearing it and how it's changing in the audiences is fascinating. And with this play, with Liberation, we did it off Broadway. And now that it's on Broadway with the second Trump administration, the temperature has changed. Talking about my character's political decisions and whatnot, that's landing differently because it was like coinciding with the mayoral election. It's coinciding with like what's happening now on the news. So it's just been really interesting hearing. I feel like it's gotten scarier out in the world and people are hearing it with higher stakes than before.
It means more. I think people have more of a visceral reaction to this stuff because it's not hypothetical anymore. There's too much going around literally in our backyard.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yes.
Anyway,
it does.
Did any of the there's still some of the original, like the women in the story are still surviving, some of them? Have they come to see Liberation yet?
The actual Bess's mom has come to see it quite a few times, and the character that I play lives in Italy now, so she hasn't come to see it. But a lot of the colleagues of hers have come to see it that are her age. They're like in their 80s. They were like, "Oh my God, she was so much," and I'm like, "That tracks. That tracks." Apparently, she's a right winger now in Rome.
Really?
Which I can sort of see in that kind of personality, how that can go so far left that it goes all the way around and ends up in the right wing. Like, you know how some people get so incensed sometimes by like how things happen.
Yeah.
That then they're like, you know what, I'm gonna try this other.
Well, I want her to come see it and see how you are.
Oh my God, I want her to come see it too, but I feel like she and I would disagree about a lot of stuff politically. But I love her. I know that Celeste, the character that Celeste is based on, has passed away. The character that Susie plays has passed away. But a lot of people that were in rooms with them come, and that's been really cool. Hearing them talk and remember them, been wonderful. And it feels, I sense that they feel affirmed watching the play, which has been
in real life. IRL, how many years did the group meet? It was years, right?
Years, yeah. I don't actually know.
Because it was like when you're...
But I know that they met for years, yeah.
Met for years, allowing themselves to get as vulnerable as they have emotionally. They've got to like have some bonds and some memories of that.
Yeah.
That, I mean, especially going through the actual women's lib movement back in the day, you know, in the time it's set, like they've got to remember this and be able to see it on stage and just like feel so much catharsis again. I use that word.
100%. 100%. I think they're like seeing themselves reflected in some way. And I was very taken aback recently because there was a lady that was part of like an ERA coalition, and she was part of the ERA coalition in the 70s and is still part of the ERA coalition now. And I'm like, that's crazy that we still haven't passed that.
Yikes.
That you're still in the fight and you haven't burnt out. You haven't, or even in your burnout, you haven't quit.
Yeah.
That's incredibly impressive. And we need her. We need them. We need people like that don't burn out, don't quit.
Well, the play is still going strong. I love it.
Yeah.
Everyone go see Liberation. All right,
Please.
so let us play our little game here to start ending the episode.
What's the game?
Plot in 60 seconds.
Oh shit, of Liberation?
No. I have 17 popular musicals here on my screen.
Oh my God, I'm not a musical queen. This is gonna be so bad.
/ good. So if you don't know it, you can make it up.
I'll make it up. This could be disaster.
So 1 through 17, I'll tell you what you pick, and then you give me the plot to what you picked in 60 seconds or less. 1 through 17, give me a number.
17.
17?
I'm already dreading this.
Well, this is actually kind of on brand. 17 is the musical Six. Go.
60
Six
seconds
is about
remaining.
the queens of Henry VIII and how they lived and not lived and got killed by a madman. And it's centering women's lives instead of centering a big douchebag.
45 seconds remaining.
45 seconds remaining. So long. I feel like I just told the plot of Six. I'm like, there's like one queen that's like surviving more than the other queens, and like one queen like only makes
30
it out
seconds
alive
remaining.
like super short, but she has like a killer song, and they look like K-pop demon hunters, and they're golden. Please, this is taking forever. Make it end.
Okay, we'll stop. Wow. Okay. Yes. Rewriting her story. Very feminist. It's a feminist show.
That's a feminist show. I could have done such a better job, but that's all I got, man.
That's the best.
That was terrible.
No, this is meant to invoke fun anxiety.
Okay,
if there
great.
can be such a thing.
Sure.
Cool. All right. 3 standard closing questions. First one simply is well, I can't speak. Just simply is simply.
Simply.
What motivates you?
That's not simply nothing.
I know, it was ironic.
What motivates me? Well, honestly, no. Since having a kid, not failing for the kid, like bringing home the bacon is a very big motivating factor. I'm not gonna lie. And like being an example to him is a big motivating factor. I guess like showing up for people is a big motivator for me. And I guess for me personally, I want to like be used up. Like I know that there's things that I can do and that I don't want to be left without using them up. I want to use it up. So it's hard to explain that, but it's almost like I know that I want self-fulfillment in the best way, and in the sense of like I want to use it up, and I want to see how far I can test those abilities that I've been accruing for a long time.
I love that.
I want to exercise those muscles in the highest ability and the highest spheres with the hardest players.
You are now
I want to be used up.
You are now competing in the highest echelon of theater.
Thank
so
you.
you're
But
there.
But honestly, like one of the motivating factors is other people, and that it's like I want to play with that person. I wanna play opposite that person and see what I can learn, and also how we do this. Not in a competitive sense as much as in a like I want to play with them.
Yeah.
I want to play that in that difficult level.
I like that. All right. I accept.
Okay.
What advice would you give to your younger self and younger people listening now, starting out down a similar path?
Okay. To like my Latine fabulosity people, or honestly like BIPOC in general, I because I was so white passing, but I don't think it's specific to colorism in my regard. Because I was so white passing for a long time, I was told that I had like that I was like a universal casting, like that I was essentially a white person, that I could play anything I wanted. And so I was marketing myself as a not Latina almost. And that didn't work out because I have a Spanish name that I am claiming. And so I wasn't being considered in white roles. And then I wasn't Latina enough in other roles. And I think I would have told myself, just claim yourself in your full identity and like put yourself out there, make your own work, say what you're about, and then the world will respond, with roles and with conversations that you can be a part of. But like put yourself out there in your full self, even when you think you're like falling between the cracks of categories. I think I was thinking too much in terms of other people's categories of myself. Like you're an ingenue or you're white or you're smart or you're whatever that is. Just put yourself out there in your full self, and the world will start bringing conversations that you could be a part of.
I like that. That's a really good way to put it. All right. Last question.
Yeah.
Hardest one.
Uh-oh.
If you could only see one show for the rest of your life, you could see it as many times as you want, what would you see?
The Birdcage.
Really? Why?
Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Frank Azaria are geniuses, comedic geniuses. Diane Wiest. I know it by heart, and I can't get enough of it. I think it's hilarious. I think it has so much heart. It's just like a happy place. That movie is just my happy place. And now that role, especially Hank Azaria's did I say Frank?
Frank Azaria? No, I think you said Hank.
Okay,
Did
please. I don't know. I'm so sleep deprived. I don't know. But Hank Azaria.
Kank? Did you say Kank?
Right now, please God no. Please God no.
Kank Azaria?
But like Hank Azaria's role would nowadays be like, why didn't they let a Latino play that? And you know what? I understand that 100%, and I would probably back that argument. And also, I'm obsessed with that performance. I mean, like, what is it? It's like, you can't handle my Guatemalaness? Your what? My natural heat. Like, he's just like, he's just delicious in those like tiny little shorts and flip-flops, like cleaning the pool, going, she works hard for the money. Like, I could watch that every day. And still find it funny.
I think, go watch
I think Robin Williams and Nathan Lane make the most beautiful couple. I just think it's beautiful. I think the movie is beautiful. I really do. And I think it's hilarious. I love comedy, and I love comedic geniuses at work. And that has a ton of comedic geniuses.
Okay. Where can we find you online and connect with you and say hi?
Instagram. You can find me on Instagram, Irene Sofia Lucio, and Facebook. I wish I could tell you how to TikTok, but can't be bothered.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me.
It's generational.
No, it's going back to what you first said. It's making the space to care.
Yeah, man, it's too much. There's too much noise. I'm already spending too much time with the two apps that I have.
And the stuff that's really good, my friends send me anyway.
Exactly. That's what I feel like. I'm gonna get the TikTok anyway. Although sometimes I can't open it because I don't actually have TikTok.
Oh, you gotta have a lurker account.
I don't want it.
You just get it. Don't even put a profile picture up. Just like lurk.
Sounds so weird, but okay.
Lurk, man.
So
well, I am on TikTok. I post stuff. Don't know if it's good. Let me know. If I'm on Threads, Instagram, Facebook. Leave a rating, leave a review wherever you are listening. You can leave comments on Spotify now. Watch the video version of this on Spotify or on Patreon. Thanks to Jukebox the Ghost for the intro and outro music. Thanks to WelcomeToTimesSquare.com for the lovely studio. And my gosh, Irene, thank you so much. Are we ASMR you? Okay. I have some apples I can crunch on. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Go see Liberation. It's really funny.
I hope you bring your mom.
Just your mom.
Everybody in your life, actually, but your mom is really going to appreciate it.
Thank you.